most of the time it doesn't work. And with that, shall we start our episode?
Hey, let's do
it.
Yay!
Welcome to Monday night.
Monday night into the Obscure podcast. Very excited. We had such a good weekend.
Yes.
Did.
Tell me about
two
it.
of us. The third
So
one didn't.
fun.
Two had an amazing weekend.
So good for you guys. I'm so happy for you.
Oh no, we need to get you a present or something. I think. I think that would work to make do for everything else. Kara and I had a great weekend. Yes. What did we do, Kara?
What did we do? We are coining the term Expedition Obscura, or Expedition Obscure. We got to hang out with Paige in Paige of Expedition Entity and Paraflix. We went to Bachelor's Grove and Resurrection Cemetery, and then we went out and hung out in Berwyn at a gallery bar thing situation after dinner, and met up with friends Jen and Rachel, and it was just the coolest night ever, and I loved it.
It was a lot of fun. We ate at what was that, Flapjacks?
Flapjack Brewery, where Tressa
really
suggested we go to eat. You know, she set up a really nice evening for us.
Yes.
She really
couldn't
did.
come to.
And guess what? They offered as an option for on your pizza,
What?
burrata.
Ugh.
Yeah. So I was very excited. You hit it out of the park for me on that.
I haven't even actually been there. I just hear it's good. So you're
It is
welcome.
good.
Yeah. And then the out of space was really neat too. That was kind of a cool space.
It's a neat space.
Yeah.
You were right about the loud. You did say might have to go to the patio. It was a little loud.
I mean, everything's a little loud for me, so I'm not a good judge of that, but
No, it truly is.
okay.
It truly is. You're right. So, but it was
Tressa's
still
right
super
again.
fun. So it was super fun. Yeah. So now we're already planning our next weekend, but since we're all a bunch of people with a whole lot of stuff going on, you know, who knows when that'll be. So I don't know. We're looking forward
Good
to
update.
it.
Yeah.
Well, we had a date, but it didn't work. I don't know. So we will see a bunch of people when we go to Great Lakes Paranormal Conference.
Yes, you will. God damn it.
Tress is also not coming.
Ugh. Yeah.
So
That's just in like 2 weeks too, isn't it?
If
Oh my
you want to
God,
give
it's
money
so
to my
soon.
GoFundMe so I can go to that, because I have to put money into a trip I'm going to the next weekend, so I can't. But hey, I'll start a GoFundMe, so please don't give me money. But if you wanted to.
but if it's really important to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be there, and we're going to see a lot of people. So we will see Paige there, and we're calling it Paranormal Party all weekend. So I'm very excited.
In Sheboygan.
In Sheboygan.
Of course.
Paranormal Party in Sheboygan.
Actually, it's Sheboygan and Glenbeulah.
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 That was my grandmother's name.
Glenbeulah or just Beulah?
No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't.
Oh.
I was going
I'm
to
really
say,
excited about the Beulah part.
we will think of her in your honor when we're in Glenbeulah. We'll
I
still
will
think of you.
anyway. Thanks. Anytime you guys get irritated, you're like, Tressa. We sure do miss that bitch.
She'd really turn this around for us.
It would really be a different kind of weekend, but hope she's having a good one.
Should we talk about some news, ladies, or we got more business to take care of?
Important business first.
Oh, please do.
Oh.
Some of you may be seeing, how can I stand? There we go. So you can see the background.
Oh.
Our photo background this time. So like we said last episode, we are going to choose pictures that fit the episode, but not just choose pictures that fit the episode. Choose pictures from hella obscura artists that are going to work with the episode. So this one's just really pretty. So when they get to know us, you know, and hang out with us, we love this one. This is Matt Groth. He is an urban explorer and that we love on Hella Obscura. Also goes by Biz I'll point in the right direction one
There
day.
you go. Other one.
There
You go.
How I had both fingers pointing and I'm still couldn't figure it out. So anyway, now I could really do that though. BizX is his other, like Instagram name, but Math Growth, check him out on Hell Obscura. So when I saw this one, I was like, breathtaking. I love it. And I think it's pretty perfect for the, hey, get to know us episode. And
because
news.
we like pigeons.
We do.
That's what we're saying.
And blue. And
I love
color
blue.
blue.
Why is blue so great?
I
and the
don't know,
color
but it
blue.
really is. It's so versatile.
I know.
It can just be all over. It could be a mood.
Yep.
It can be, the color of the sky or the ocean.
And blue pigeons just frame Jenny perfectly. It's perfect.
Oh my
flying
God.
behind me.
They're perfect.
And I gotta say, when I was trying to find this photo and going through all of his photos, all of them gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I know.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pretty awesome. You all should follow him.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
go
you
to
should
Hella Obscura.
do.
Hella
And
Obscura.
Hella Obscura. And then you'll see a lot of
everything
his work.
else. Yeah.
Yes. So that's that. That's my plug for the week. And later in the episode, we do have a special guest. It will be Zak Wenzel. So he'll be joining us a little bit later. And we're going to have a more serious discussion. But for now, what do we got for the news?
Let's start off with the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. I don't know. They.
Yes.
I don't know.
I was
guess
wondering.
I guess it's a government agency that I've never heard of. I don't know. But they put up a UAP, the official UAP website, where they want to put everything. Instead of slowly releasing stuff, it's all just going to go there. If you have a sighting, you tell them there. Then they'll track you and make your life miserable, probably, because why would they
Yeah.
want all that information from you? And
I
then,
feel like.
right, like, I don't know that I would want to put my shit up there. That's a government website.
Now they know where to find you, even more so than usual.
Yeah, I mean,
Did-
they already know. It's not like,
True.
come on.
Yeah,
Most
no,
likely-
I know. But like now they know what you're seeing.
Yeah, now
As
they know what
opposed
you're
to
up
the
to.
social media posts. Because if any of you, I'm sorry, ladies, but if either of you saw anything abnormal, it would be instantaneously all over all of your social media. I like how you
Every
pretend.
platform,
You pretend
personal
that you're gonna
and
be so
into the
Share.
Share to story.
Yes.
Share to story.
What other sites can I put this on? What other platforms? You will not believe this shit, you guys.
There will be a dance involved. There will be music behind it. So many TikToks and
Some sort of
CapCuts
cap
and
cut
whatever.
effect.
You will not be discreet with your sightings ever.
Right.
But I'm not telling the government about it.
Right. Once it goes on that site, it's over.
Just your
Over.
5,000 followers.
They're coming
No
for
one
you.
will tell.
They won't. They won't.
Okay, Jenny, that is a very valid point. However, I'm still weirded out by it.
That's okay. I'm just excited for this to be a thing so that I can look at it late at night instead of actually sleeping like I should be doing.
Heck
Wait,
yeah.
is it like a thing that we could all read then?
Yeah, it's like everything is there and everything's, I think everything's open for everyone to check out. AARO was founded after reports finding hundreds of UAP sightings. Just in 2022, I guess it was when it was founded. You know what? I have said this before. This is old news, but I do not like UAP. I get it. You had to make it sound not like UFO because that was too goofy for you guys, but I don't like it.
No.
Just say UFO. It's fine.
It's dumb. It sounds a little bit too close to like WAP for me. Like I don't know why. I'm not even joking about this. I don't like it. I don't like the terminology.
I think we have a parody song that we need to write.
Pretty sure we do.
Oh, you know what? Paranormal Party Weekend. I know what we're doing. Nobody else take my idea. You know what? I know Jenny Davis is watching right now, and so is Christine Johnson. They're going to be there. I hope they know that they're going to participate in this.
I've made a terrible mistake.
I'm there for it. I will.
Such an error.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm grateful.
Me too.
I have something to do now and think about.
I have so many videos and drawings to do now. I have so much.
Drawings?
Maybe drawings is a bit much. Maybe some photoshopping with some like our faces on some people that do that song. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And UFOs in the background. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I like all of it.
Anyway,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I don't like the term. We're going back to UFO. That's all. I'm making the official declaration right now.
Officially a UFO podcast, anti-UAP.
Yeah, which is actually kind of funny because when I was looking for recent news stories, one of the things that I saw for I don't know why he became like a source for paranormal information or why anybody cares, but apparently Uri Geller is now convinced of alien life based on some videos of some UFOs that were shot in Mexico someplace. And I don't know why this is news. I didn't realize that Uri Geller was very relevant.
Oh, I mean, he really inserts himself into things. So, yeah.
He's giving himself relevance.
Yes.
As he does this.
As we all do.
But I'm relevant. So.
Yes. Thank you.
I kind of thought he died out after the spoon thing. I didn't really think that his impressions of aliens were pertinent.
I never got the spoon thing. I don't understand why that would be a very exciting thing to do, and I don't 100% think that it was a fake thing either, but who fucking gives a shit? Oh my God, I wasn't going to swear. Stop it. Okay.
That I think it's 2 times.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's going to be work for you later.
It really, I mean, mentally and physically. So, also, we got a lot of news out of Loch Ness this week.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yes.
Go for it, Jenny.
So, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the 90th anniversary of Nessie was in like May or March or something, because the original written sightings were from 1933.
Oh.
It was like the big deal when it started to hit the press, and everybody was very, very excited about it from like 1933 and 1934. That's when that classic Nessie photo came out. Was 1934, and I was reading some of the old like articles about it, and Nessie today and those sightings are so drastically different. They were talking about it back in the day like it was the size of a large like seal or otter.
Oh.
And like somehow it's expanded to a massive monster. They were still calling it a monster.
Right.
And it was still very reptilian and scary, but it was a lot smaller apparently to scare the Loch Nessians at the time. But
they just did much.
They just did a huge, expansive search where they brought in like hundreds of searchers and all kinds of new equipment that they hadn't used before. I know they were using like thermal drones. Yeah.
Is it warm-blooded? Allegedly.
I would imagine it would have some sort of heat signature like fish do, and you know, on like fish finders, and like you can see sharks and stuff. That's one.
I thought that was all sonic, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, I thought sonar, not temperature.
I think temperature. Yeah, as well.
I don't
there's
know.
Some kind of heat signature there, but or I could just be completely lying. No one knows. Really.
No one knows how they work.
Yeah,
somebody has
magic.
to.
They like magnets.
So, Tressa, what else did you have on the Loch Ness? Segue.
Oh, good one. Because of that, they had a huge brand new expedition where they just went all out and they're like, we're gonna find it no matter what. I don't know that they did, but
No, they did not.
Okay. But because of that, a woman came out and said, hey, I have some really good photos that I took in 2018, and I didn't want to tell anyone about it because I didn't want anyone to make fun of me. So she released those. And then right after that, a girl who is 14 at the time took photos 2 days after that first woman took the photos. And the little girl's photo was more convincing than the woman's photo. The woman's photo looks like a couple of otters snuggled together. And the little girl's photo is like the classic faked photo with like the crook head coming out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's like from a huge distance, and you can tell like where it is in the lake. And is it a lake? Doesn't matter.
It's a lock.
Essentially, it's, you can't really access any other body of water from it except for possibly through like underwater caverns.
Like a little something. Yeah.
It's fed into by something, which is my favorite theory about Nessie. Obviously, is that it was an animal that's somehow managed to get trapped, or like a family that somehow managed to get trapped and bred and lived for years and years and years and then slowly died out. Because I feel like that would be really the way that it would go.
You made it sound like it was more delightful at the start and then slowly died out. It really took a turn.
See, but why couldn't they just keep reproducing?
Because they're a family and then they're all going to just be genetic.
Don't be
Have you
gross.
read the Bible? I mean, what are you talking about? That's what animals do. I have dogs that did that. Are you kidding me? That's
but you can only do that for so long.
Yeah.
Also, just want to radar sonar is the fish finder, says Rob. So if Rob says it, we're good. That's what it is. Radar sonar.
I'm still going heat signature.
They're not tuna. Tuna are a little warm-blooded. But the rest aren't. Radar sonar. So they never found anything on this big expedition. They do this periodically, but we never give up hope, do we? So what do we say when we don't find them? Are we like, oh, something that they did?
I mean, what are the chances? They take 1 week out of a year and they're like, we're going to find it. And then Nessie's like, no, you're not. I'm going to go home. This is my lake house. I'm not going to come here while you guys are here. Goodbye.
But so then are we also saying maybe interdimensional is the theory of Nessie?
I think that it's the underground caverns that lead to the river, that lead to the sea. I think that's what it is. I don't think that it lives all in the nest.
I would support more so something.
God damn it. I'll get it right sometime. God.
Like, I think it's one of those things that it's real and it's hiding and not being around people when there's a lot of people. And I think that perhaps, especially reading all the like older accounts, that we've completely exaggerated the size of this thing and that it's not that big.
Oh.
And
you just reminded me. Go ahead.
So, it can possibly live there and hide out and get in those little, I mean,
if it is a seal, like a seal-size thing, now I can believe that it can hide.
Mm-hmm. You just reminded me, and I got it switched in my head. So, related, like a month ago, someone got on sonar what could possibly be the Lake Champy monster, or Champy. What? Yeah. And there's an image, if you can find it online, and it looks like what you would think that Loch Ness monster would look like. It looks like a swimming dinosaur, an aquatic dinosaur. Just the outline image. I'm just saying, look it up. It looks pretty freaking neat.
It's supposed to be like a descendant of the plesiosaur.
Yes, that's what they think.
Yeah.
Or we're going
so
with.
They'll kind of have that. I just feel like it would be smaller, right? So, you think about evolution and whatnot, it would evolve to be smaller anyway because there's not as much food or space.
Well, that's always the argument against Nessie is there is not enough food to support a giant thing, and certainly not like a breeding family.
Right. So what if they were smaller? You know, and when animals inbreed, don't they get smaller? I feel like that's a thing.
I think so. Islands, they
Why are
get
you
bigger.
asking me?
I mean, you said you had dogs that did this.
Yeah, that's true.
Did they
Actually,
keep getting smaller,
you know what?
Tressa?
They were cats. They weren't dogs, and they just got stupider. So
Well, and they may have been anyway.
yeah.
No, islands, they get bigger usually because there's no troubles or whatever. But I think inbreeding may be smaller. I don't know. Maybe.
I think we've just solved Nessie right here. Like, you're just looking for something too big.
Little inbred monster babies.
Set your sights smaller.
Little.
Oh, little outer side
I
plesiosaur.
know. That's adorable.
See, now I want one.
Right?
Exactly.
Let's go get some.
Seriously. Name it all, their little outfits for it.
Well, I mean, they have to be
Best
cold
idea
because they're not
ever.
warm-blooded.
I
So
know. You could get them little, like
Lash,
wetsuits.
little rash guard shirts. But so when I was reading about that, I was like, well, okay, but could these dinosaurs survive the whatever kill all the dinosaurs?
yes.
Whatever killed all the
I mean,
dinosaurs.
the
You know,
meteor. You
asteroid,
mean the
meteor, whatever, blah, blah,
There's
blah.
been
The
multiple
fire
mass
of
extinction
many fires,
events.
blah, 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 blah.
Multiple mass
blah.
extinction events.
God, whatever. So, so I was like, oh, you know what would be a good metric for that is the volcano sharks. So I was going through the volcano sharks, and I was like, if they can survive in a volcano, like for sure, absolutely. But also, I found out that the volcano that they're in only gets up to, at the very most, 150 degrees. Like in my head, a volcano is going to be like 600 degrees at the least. But no, it's just like
So this is a
150 degrees.
volcano in the water.
Yeah, it's
Always in the
an-
water.
Yeah, it's an aquatic volcano.
They're not like on a mountain swimming in there.
Oh, that would be amazing. in
A
the
volcanic lake that's 600 degrees, and then there's sharks
in the lava.
in the lava lake. So okay, they're in the water. So it's constantly mixing with the ocean, so it can only get so hot.
Right.
And aren't they
right.
sort of like deep sea fissures that these things are like erupting out of, right?
Hammerhead sharks, some other kind of shark, and stingrays were in there. I don't know
So
about.
they're like kind of normal sharks. It's
Yeah.
not like a special. It's not a special
they're just
shark.
sharks. Well, maybe I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I mean, I've seen hammerhead sharks are kind of special sharks.
They are.
I'd go with
But they're
that.
not like made for the volcano.
No, they're not like volcano sharks that have lava pouring out of their mouths.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It cries tears of lava for you. Because you're not as cool as they are. So,
But okay,
cheer.
so volcano, that's on my head. And then I go to search something else. And I see the story about, what was it? UFOs in Mexico. Unexplained moment. Multiple UFOs shoot out from volcano portal in shocking footage.
And this is where Yuri Geller comes in.
I was
Is that
gonna
what
say,
it
didn't
was?
We already kind of like.
Yeah, it was like the photos and the videos of
Yeah.
that.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. They shot out what? They shot into out of a volcano-ish thing. Is that
Well,
what's happening?
that's where you could put the Stargate.
Okay, this is
Oh.
like from the
The
mirror.
Stargates can
okay?
lay down. They
Listen,
don't have
the
to
Mirror
be
has
vertical.
some pretty classic articles.
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. But like they're gonna put like portal in there for no good reason. They're gonna be like, I don't know, it was a portal. No, it's just a volcano. Who knows?
Well, but
Well,
I
you
mean,
don't
if
know.
It was
You've
an
never
active
been in a
volcano.
volcano.
you don't know. I could have
The
been in like
sharks know.
5.
The sharks know.
That's true.
We need to get one of those volcano sharks on for an interview. Kara, can you get on that, please?
I will work on that.
I'll get you a link.
Thank you.
Will we settle for a volcano stingray?
Yes, but I'm going to have a real attitude during the
Yeah,
entire
oh,
interview.
for sure.
All right.
For sure.
I will work on it.
Well, all of this, did anybody find anything about any new haunting stuff, anything new spooky came out about that? Because I didn't concentrate on anything ghost related. I was like, what are the new cryptids lately? What's going on with
that's
Bigfoot?
what you're going to concentrate on.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk about sort of ghost related in a little minute. But no, is there any news for like ghosts? I don't.
It's hard to find ghost news, I think, isn't it?
It's like ghost stories, right? Yeah, I feel like it's just like ghost stories. Yeah, I don't have any exciting news on ghosts.
How would that work? Like, brand new ghost at the Tower of London. We've never seen her before.
And boy, is she hot.
She is a looker.
Well, I mean, eventually we have to get some new younger ones, you know, some new hotter, newer ones. But I don't know if anybody's died at the Tower of London lately, so I don't know if they're going to have a new one.
Let's make that happen and then track how long it takes
All right.
to have a ghost happen.
I'll get a short list together.
Excellent.
On my, you know, I don't have people commenting on our TikTok. I posted a reel and a TikTok from this weekend's activities. So it's not a new ghost, but I'd be curious, what is everybody, so Tressa, you saw our TikTok maybe, you know, while you're like, wow, they're doing cool things. What do you think about that lady in white photograph at Bachelor's Grove?
Oh, you know, I remember thinking, wow, that's a pretty convincing photo. But then watching your TikTok and seeing the original again, I was like, what the fuck? What the crap? Why?
Number 3.
Why did I find this convincing the first time I saw it? It doesn't.
So it's funny that you say that, because I remember being like, at some point in my life going, oh my God, you know, probably before really the internet. And I was so impressed by it at some point in my life. You know, I don't remember when, and I honestly didn't look at it. And people would talk about this picture, and there's this picture. And then this weekend when I looked it up, you know, I was like, oh, let's see, you know, I think it's here. And I was right. I look it up and I go, oh, huh.
Yeah, it really was kind of a letdown. I've never seen the picture before, and I'm like, oh, so just somebody who's just bored with being at an old cemetery, just sitting.
Had a sit.
Just had a little sit.
Somebody's wife was like, is it time to go, or I'm gonna...
And then I looked at it a lot to make the TikTok, you know, like just a lot of looking at it, and a lot of looking at us sitting in the same spot. And I was like, oh. And even as the effects faded it, you know, from the old picture to the new pictures, I'm going, I just didn't go to the effort to make the new pictures quite exactly look like it. I thought black and white was enough. But, you know, so I was thinking, I was like, interesting, now that I've looked at it this much in 2023, I have different feelings.
There's a lot of those photos, those ghost photos, that I feel like some of them very much still creep me out, but some of them I look at them and go, oh, well, they're just, I think that's just a person being bummed out or bored in the background. Like, because they're always staring wistfully someplace. Like, you know, and granted, I'm not there and I don't know the history and whatever, but if I look just casually at the photo, I'm like, wow, she's just having a really crap time.
That's what it was for as we like posed for the pictures. Yeah. Okay, just look a little.
Just me shouting, look a little sad. Try to be sad.
And we simulated it pretty well.
I did not. I'm not good at photos.
You look like you're having a blast.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I love it here. Let's go see Uncle Rick.
Uncle Rick, eh?
Yeah.
Somebody might be named Rick there. You got to assume. I bet there's a Richard.
That's true.
I'll look through pictures.
The Resurrection Mausoleum, that was definitely weird and creepy. So
yes.
Kara says, hey, we could stop by Resurrection Cemetery. And, you know, there's this one spot that legitimately scares me. And she's been in some strange places, you guys.
I love it.
And it's not like she gets scared by a lot of things, especially not like death or bodies or something like that. But yeah, and both Paige and I were like, we want to go to the place that scares Kara, please.
It does scare me.
It's terrifying. Well, first of all, creepy. The aesthetic is very like Stanley Kubrick, like The Shining. Everything's very oddly clean and 70s vibe and very linear, very set up in a very spatially cohesive way, but it shouldn't be in that space.
Oh.
The furniture's small and the halls are
It's
huge.
like really small. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's giant statues of saints and popes that really could be doing something kind of in the dark that you're not sure.
Okay,
Ooh.
did we tell
Wait,
you?
hold
so
up,
it's
real
almost,
quick. Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some stuff. You guys keep talking.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you while you do your stuff, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if we told you because you went to the bathroom.
Recording in progress.
But Paige had pulled some cards on the way, right? On her way there. And there was something she heard, like, kind of got the message, like the bottom one or something like that. And then one fell out, whatever. But anyway, the one that it was the hermit, but it looked exactly like the statue we walked up to and stopped. Like, while you were gone, like, just the way it was standing.
On,
and I was like, no! Like, stop it!
And you just let me wander around, like, not knowing any
unattended
of this
to the bathroom.
You just
we
let
were
me
very
go
close
in
to
a mausoleum. You were like, go ahead, Jenny. See what's happening out there.
We were very close to you when it all happened. You were just in the bathroom.
That's
very
right.
close, but I definitely
I'm so
said
oblivious.
It
Any
was
sort
very
of haunting or
unpleasant.
haunted statue would look at me and be like, she's not even paying attention. I'm not even going to bother. God.
So, everybody, you may have noticed while Tress is doing stuff, we've all rearranged and we're all hanging out a little differently here. So now it's a different little segment. But so let's talk about photography. Macro, thank you for your time with us. But we have now transitioned to Dark Tricks Photography. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook and everything, because this is a pretty awesome picture. But I would have been shocked if she wasn't, but I didn't know. But most importantly, the reason we chose this photo is because it is the photo that was used in a Facebook post that Zak wrote. So, without much ado, so Zak, you could either read it, you could describe it. I mean, it was beautifully written. I will say I was at work the day you posted it, and I literally am just looking down at my phone, just like mouth wide open. Didn't even realize, I'm oblivious to what my body's doing at that point. And somebody that I work with just goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, what?" And she goes, "You're just are you okay?" "Yeah." So then I quick filled her in, and I realized I hadn't told her too many details about my life lately, so it got to be a little longer story. But so there we go. Without much ado, Zak Wenzel.
A lot of people found it pretty shocking. Between the articles about that the Herald posted recently, and then seeing this, people were like, what the hell's going on here? So do you care if I just read the post off?
I think you wrote it so well. Like,
okay.
I think you should read it. Yeah.
Go for it.
So I had posted this on September 1st, so Friday. So everything's going to be relating to specifically September 1st. In my post, I wrote, "Today, September 1st, would have been our third investigation night at the Old Joliet Prison for our documentary Project Limestone. However, we won't be doing that tonight. In mid-July, on a Monday morning, I received a phone call from the Joliet Area Historical Museum saying they were canceling our overnight that was supposed to be tonight. At first, I was told it was due to safety concerns in the dark. After talking with the person over the phone, she eventually told me there was a person who recently got a promotion. That person does not believe in ghosts, and they want to stray away from anything to do with the paranormal. So after I got off the phone, I looked at our contract with the prison, This contract was given to me as soon as we scheduled it, so they sent it over immediately, and I looked it over, I signed it. Usually, some places do this, not all of them, but some places do. So it was pretty much the same thing as I'm used to. But I looked at the contract, and canceling an event because they don't believe in ghosts or they want to stray away from that kind of stuff is it violates it, and it was that moment that I realized they try to use safety concerns as a loophole to get away with canceling our rental, in which I was going to be paying $2,000 for only 6 hours inside of the prison, which is, if anyone who does this knows, that's an insane amount of money for even, I don't even know, like 24 hours inside of a place. Like it's
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of money. Um, I then noticed on the Joliet Prison website, because I just wanted to check it out and see what's going on. There was a new date available for Prison After Dark tours, which is a 90-minute tour of the prison after dark. Um, my private date was replaced with this event. I thought there were safety concerns in the dark. Uh, I don't understand how that's okay for them to run a 90-minute tour and in the dark, but my private rental is not okay, which ultimately would have made them more money. I did the calculations on it and everything. Um, their Prison After Dark tours, it's like $30 per person, I think, something around there, and they were selling X amount of tickets, and I was like, yeah, the $2,000 would have been making them more than if they sold out for this tour, which they didn't. So it just I don't understand that. When I did talk to someone about that, I called the like the prison, and I asked them like, what's the 90-minute tour about? I'm like, why, like, is it in the dark? And they're like, well, it's 90 minutes starting at like sunset, but it's not entirely dark by the end. And I'm like, okay, so what time does it start? They told me it started at I believe 7:30, they said, and by the time September 1st comes around, it's around like 8 o'clock when the sun is completely down and it's dark. So we're talking, it's already dark by the time they're getting out, plus an extra 60 minutes. So um, it's just, that didn't make sense to me. So I tried to call the woman I talked to back, but she said she had lost the position she was in at the time and had no more authority over rentals. I was then told to talk to Greg Peerbolt, which seems to be a name that people are familiar with recently. He's the executive director in charge of the museum and the prison. I had actually met Greg back in 2017. I did volunteer work at the museum and the prison. My high school required 40 hours of community service to graduate. So I went to the museum first, and then I found out that they had the prison and that they were going to start doing like cleanup there. So, of course, I'm going to go to the prison as a ghost hunter. Of course, I'm going to go to the prison and
Right.
do cleanup. Um, so at that point, I'd become friends with them on Facebook. But I could have sent him a Facebook message. I wanted to take a more professional approach. So I decided to send him an email. I was like, you know what? Send him an email, see if he gets back to me. After a couple of days of no response over email, gave him a call. I left a voice message. A couple more days went by with no response. I sent a follow-up email. Again, no response. I tried to call the prison and the museum. They said he wasn't available or he wasn't there. Tried to call him one more time and immediately went to voicemail. Rang once and went to voicemail. And I was just like, all right, so I guess this is just, I don't know. Maybe he's busy. Probably not, because I had heard some things about him prior hand. So I was actually paying attention to Greg's Facebook because I was still friends with him, to see if maybe he was on vacation or something. I'm like, oh, maybe he's, doing something. And at least that's what I was hoping. I was even telling Emily, I'm like, look, maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's gone for like a couple weeks or something. I don't know. I was, again, actively paying attention. And a week later, after I made that last phone call to him, he unadded me on Facebook. And I was like, all right, like, I guess you can make some time for that. But then, you can't make time to give me a quick phone call back or schedule something with me or anything like that. You just have the time to like go on Facebook and possibly stalk my profile to see like oh, it's this kid, you know and then unadd me, but does not have a time to respond to me in any manner. at that point, you know, it's now been a month and a half since I started, since I canceled it, and I had been actively trying to get a hold of them and trying to get a hold of someone that's actually in charge there, and haven't heard from anyone. It's like they're like completely disappeared um, off the face of the earth. So it made things really like difficult, and I was actively trying to get a hold of someone up to the day of me making this post. You know, um, it is very disappointed to be treated like this by the people who run a place I care about dearly, um, and that we can't continue to, film this project that I dug my heart and soul into because I care about this place so much. Um, but our documentary Project Limestone will still be happening. We've done a lot of filming on it already, and we got some interviews to film real soon, and yeah, it's still happening, but just not as intended. So and that's yeah.
So first, tell us real quick about Project Limestone, because kind of what you intended, why this was important in the project. What role this night played in it.
Okay, so Project Limestone is a full documentary about the Joliet prison, not just paranormal, but also history wise. So we were gonna deep dive into the history of it. We were gonna deep dive with actual guards that, worked there. We were gonna deep dive into people who were actually incarcerated there. I made a connection recently with someone who did time at the Joliet prison. So we were gonna talk to actual like people who were there. Um, we were going to do our first overnight investigation there, which was our like just the full Blood Moon crew investigating it. Our second overnight was not on the main side, um, and not with the people who run the main side of the prison. Can't talk about that too much, but you could probably take a guess. And then our third overnight, I was going to bring in a bunch of paranormal teams from Southern Illinois, people from Texas, people from Indiana, just a bunch of content creators that do this paranormal stuff. I was going to bring them in, and it was going to be like, well, this place is massive. We're going to need a little bit of help. These people are here to help us investigate this place. And it was going to be this massive collab event. And that was going to be like the ending to Project Limestone, which was going to be that September 1st date that never happened. So I had everyone lined up for it, and it sucked to have to give them the message like, look,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. Like, not only did my team, like, did I have to tell my team that I'm, obviously close with, but I had to tell people that, like, I'm not as close with. And I'm like, that sucks. Like, that really sucks.
And what's disappointing, I think, just even for the city that this decision was kind of made. That's a bunch of people that were gonna, make it look good. We're gonna talk about the history. We're going to talk about, because what if you don't have the paranormal without the history? So I think that's what
Right.
people sometimes don't talk about. You do feature the history. Obviously this is a place that you love. But also that was going to be a bunch of people coming in, money was going to be spent in Joliet, tourism dollars in Joliet. That was really a big loss for the city that this decision was made too.
Right.
This was a really, questionable financial decision for the facility, we'll say.
Right.
And,
those
and just
people-
disappointing altogether.
those people were going to be able to like they were going to be able to post their own video of what they captured and stuff like that on their own channels, and that's opening it up to a new market. People from out of state that are going to if someone's coming up from Texas, because like I said, someone from Texas was coming, someone's coming up from Texas to go to Chicago, Joliet's on the way. They could have stopped in Joliet real quick. That's a missed opportunity right there. And again, just from all over, like the West or Midwest and East Coast people, were coming from to make this collab happen. So,
And not even the collab. Like,
Yeah.
once the documentary gets made, that's got interest in Joliet in general. Like,
right,
that's a missed opportunity for the city.
right, and
huge
the
one,
documentary, the documentary was not even just about like the Joliet prison, but it's honestly like a celebration of like Joliet history as well. Like
Yeah.
this town was built on limestone. That's
Yeah.
why it's called Project Limestone. It's all about the limestone, and that's what it was built on.
Well,
So
it would have been huge too. I mean, growing up like so close to Joliet, we never spent any time in Joliet because it was like, no, it's nobody really wanted to go to Joliet. All right,
I get it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is whatever. I'm not gonna date myself, but this was a long time ago. Um, and I was never and have not been interested in Joliet, and I'm like, I don't know, half an hour away until all of the really cool stuff with the prisons started to kind of be, worked on again and opened up again, and being able to see it or being able to hear about it. Like, that's a
Right.
really cool thing. I don't think we have that sort of institution or that sort of interest. We don't have a lot of those kind of in the suburbs out here. And that's huge. It was an interesting point for me to like go to Joliet and then to talk about with other people from Joliet. But, you know,
Right. And like in my point of view, and a lot of people might disagree with this, but like I feel the way to bring more people in and to make Joliet a place that people want to come to, I think the prison is the key, ironically. The prison is the key to making that first jump and leap, you know? And in order to have that, we need paranormal at these places because that is probably one of the number one draws. A lot of people don't want to, especially like people my age, people younger than me, they're not coming to places for just the history anymore. I love the history personally, but I know a lot of people that I went to school with, even my niece and nephew, like they don't have interest in history like that.
Right.
But you say ghosts, their heads pop up,
For sure.
And if they want
But-
people like that to have interest in the history, they need
Yeah.
the ghosts.
yeah, and it's not like you're going to be really like sullying the reputation of the prison. I mean, it has a very dark and macabre like history to begin with. Nationally, it's known. So why not put like kind of an interesting and cool spin on it where you
Right.
get to do these sort of interesting other things. And especially after having gone through the pandemic, like vacations or things to do, I feel like niche sort of things became way more popular, right? So this is of interest to not just people in the paranormal world.
Right. I agree.
And that's, well, I think too, my follow-up question, but actually it kind of bounced on both. Even when it is the paranormal and we see it in TV shows or something, how much tourism comes from, oh my God, I watched that thing on this show. Whether it's, Abandoned America or all the different, think of the Discovery Channel, how many places they go for various reasons, paranormal or just otherwise, showing the history that people want to go and see what it's all about. And there is nothing like, with the paranormal, people really get interested when it's the
Right.
people they like going there. And so then that's even my follow-up question into a lot of comments on your post, and they've driven me nuts. And I know Jenny Davis, she's commented on some. There's some people that say that this has to do with Project Fear being there when they were
Okay.
there.
So I'm gonna say
And
this.
so
I'm gonna
we're
say
gonna
this
speak
right
on
now.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now because I feel like part of this is my fault. I am very much against the demon trend. Very much against.
Yes.
It's a massive trend that's happening on YouTube right now. Okay. I made a post on Twitter about Project Fear. I'm like, hey guys, look, this place is already shutting down because they don't want the negativity or anything to do with the ghost, and specifically the negativity. Like, do we really have to put demon in the title? Like, I know there's not a demon there personally. I know people can't say, well, you can't know that. That's fine. Okay, from my experience, I've never experienced a demon. I don't know about you guys, but I've never experienced a demon there. Okay.
Well, no, it just housed like the worst of humanity.
Right. But that's my point, is like people
like
confuse.
that's going to be the negative connotation is from the demon, not the mass
Right.
murderers.
Yeah. And that's what people don't get, is they confuse grumpy with sinister.
I get it.
So, that's the thing. And I did make a tweet out to Project Fear, like, hey, look, they're starting to shut down the paranormal tours here. They already have. It's not helping. Claiming demon here is not gonna help bring it back if they're there to stay. You know what I mean? And that was my tweet out to them, but everybody twisted my word and said,
and
hey,
and I think the timing was just so perfectly correlated. I think, to you, I mean, and to me, to a lot of people, it was two separate things, because that is a big trend in the paranormal field. You do see a lot of people put demon on their YouTube, cover photo, and it gets likes and clicks, and so people do, that's a thing, people like it. So coincidentally, their episode that they were claiming that happened to come out at the same time, and some people are really grabbing onto it, and I think they have their own vested interest, but this has nothing to do with Project Fear. So that's the demon thing is its own separate discussion, whether you like that or not, is its own separate thing. But this is not on them, so please stop blaming them. But other people I see on posts, like,
and I've said it a
it's not
million
them.
times. Yeah, I've said it a million times. I've replied to people directly, but like anything I say, they want to just take what I initially said about if Project Fear putting demon in their title, and they just want to take that. But as soon as I try to be like, hey, no, that's not what I said, they're like, no, that's what you said, that's what you said. And I'm like, all right, well, is it even worth my time fighting this right now? Because
probably not. No.
Yeah.
But like, it's just so, it's not even like, first of all,
Internet.
leave them alone, like leave Project Fear alone, everybody else, but also, because it's not them, but also it's just so damaging to everything else. It's such a unfortunate thing to pick somebody who, it's not their fault, it's not anything, and it really kind of gives a nice scapegoat to the situation and really doesn't help anything. It doesn't advance anything. So that's my problem with it. I'm like, wait, not only are we blaming people that didn't do it, so like, don't blame them, but also it just doesn't advance anything, and it's not helpful. And it's so I just wanted to address that.
No, that's I appreciate you addressing
I've
that.
spoken to people. Yeah, I've spoken to people too. I've like sent messages to you guys like, it's not that. Can you stop? And the same people will be like, oh, that's what it is, and they have their own vested interests, to stick with that narrative.
The same thing. It's the same thing. And the other thing that I have an issue with is I get people saying like stuff about across the street at the women's side. I work there, yeah, but it's ran by two separate people. The main side and the women's side of the prison, two separate people. I love the people on the women's side. 13th floor, everyone there, Derek, Brian, all of them, fantastic. I love working for them. They love the history. They care about the history. They're trying to make strides to save parts of the building where they can, while also trying to put together a badass haunted house.
So for people who don't know what you're talking about, which is a lot of people, so the prison that you were sort of booted out of is a separate entity from the abandoned women's side of the prison that still runs the haunted house, that still does a lot of the like rehabbing, like they're still very welcoming to people who are coming in to take a look or to be scared or whatever. These are two separate things that we're talking about.
So yes, 13th floor runs the main or the women's side of the prison. So they run a haunted house in there, and they don't offer ghost tours yet. Something I might be trying to talk them into doing, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I know it's a massive like insurance thing. They're a big corporation, so it might not ever happen. But I can always try.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in the main prison area, because we've had discussions with some people, and I know that we'll have some folks on in the future that just at random like conferences and people certainly that we've all been introduced to, but but there's a lot of like paranormal investigators, like sort of names, recognizable names that have been there or haven't been able to. I think because I follow a couple other people on Facebook that have said something very specifically about this prison and their lack of being able to get in there or
About the
closing
women's side?
No, the main campus, I believe. Didn't the
Okay.
didn't the friend of the show, Dave, have
Yes,
something
there's
to
been
say
some-
about it as well?
I was I was gonna say too. So if anybody so I'm gonna we're getting to the top of the hour, and I want to make sure I hit like some high points. I always say with all these things, don't just believe me or don't just believe Zach. There's other people that have had experiences. There are people that have been kind of vocal about their experiences not being able to get in or having a hard time. But there have been some news stories. So check out Herald News for the news stories. You can find it to kind of hear, what a reporter has to say about it. And also check out Dave Schrader did an amazing live that really talked about his experiences and his plans on the go forward. That was another day at work that my mouth was agape.
Highly recommend the live. It's
Yes. Dave
highly
Schrader.
recommend because it's Dave
Yeah.
Schrader. So
Dave Schrader of
just
a
fantastic.
Darkness Radio, Holzer
Paranormal
Files,
60,
Paranormal
Holzer Files,
60.
Ghosts of Devil's
Whatever,
Perch. So
just
listen to him all the time is what I'm gonna say. I literally that's what I
friend
listen
of
on
the
my way to
show.
work every day.
Friend
But
of the show, Dave
also,
Schrader.
but also watch the live. It's spectacular. But it also tells you a lot about what's going on. So it's not, it's not just a couple people that had that experience. If you are kind of wondering what you can do or something about this situation and you want to be able to say something to somebody or give your opinion, you can contact maybe a couple of people in the city of Joliet or just in the city of Joliet. There's Mayor Darcy's office. The mayor's office would, certainly be an option to comment. And there's Councilman Joe Clement. He's the chairman of the city's prison committee. So to maybe kind of hear from his constituents and people maybe that are looking to change their tourism plans because of some of this. So people to contact, but also listen to Dave's live. It's pretty good. You shouldn't miss it.
Also, let us know if you want a game show based anything. Some sort of, I'm imagining some sort of like competition where you have to guess if something, an entity or a ghost is grumpy or sinister.
That'd be pretty good.
Or just
I'd
plain
play
like this.
evil.
I'd play
Yeah,
it.
me too. I'm in on it. Let's get
I'll
together.
watch
Let's
it.
work out the details.
And then also, I'm going to plug, so Zach doesn't have to, look up Old Joliet Haunted Prison, OJHP, Haunted Prison. They do an awesome job on the women's side. It's a great way to get into the women's side and take a look around. I may or may not have been there before it was a haunted house, and it's super cool on that side. And it's a cool way to look around. They're kind of the newer part, and it's awesome. So you do still get like that prison vibe in addition to the haunt prison vibe with it.
You do get to walk past all of the original cells and everything. So it's not
You
just
do.
a giant set. You're actually in the prison, walking
Yeah.
past cells, in cells, stuff like that. So
Nice.
Honestly, for me, because I love my prisons and jails, that's my high point when I go to that haunted house. But, and it's cool. Like, it's actually like, I'll give it, there's plenty, we have a lot of great haunted houses around us. We're very spoiled in our area, in the Joliet area, but it's actually like, it has that scariness. It is scary because you are in this prison. It's not just like a warehouse that got boxed out for this. So it's a really cool experience. Old Joliet Haunted Prison.
All right,
That's my
Excellent.
plug.
we
Thank
should
you.
probably
That's a
wrap
good
this
one.
up then.
Yeah.
Zach, you got anything you want to plug? I bet you do.
I am Blood Moon Paranormal. You can find us on
Yes.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything. We post our full investigations that we've been doing for the past 10 years on our YouTube channel. So You can check them out there, and that's where Project Limestone will be going. Don't have a release date yet, but we're getting there. So yeah.
Also, and they share so many awesome pictures, so follow them for Dark Trick Photography's pictures. I love them. You should too.
Thank you so much for coming on and telling us that story. That's so messed up.
It is very messed up.
Everybody else, thank you for joining us,
Thanks
and we'll
for
see you next
watching.
week.